Well, I can already see it from here. And there's the museum right over there. See the bunch of planes. I haven't been down here in, I don't know, 5-6 years. Looks like they've expanded the collection. Wow. All right, let's find a nice place for a motorcycle to park. And we'll catch you. Well, here we are. We finally made it into the Pima Air and Space Museum. This is the main hangar. And I just can't, I don't think I could stop it at everything. So we'll try to pick out some of the really cool stuff and walk around. Should be about an hour. This is a Bell Cobra Gunship. If you watch Apocalypse Now or into Vietnam War history, that's they always reference that in like Stallone movies, stuff like that. And it's amazing how small it is in person. So this is my second most favorite plane, is the SR-71 Blackbird. It's inside a building. It used to be outside last time I was here. It's pretty cool. Look at that thing. Black, my favorite color. Very cool. There's that Blackbird again. This is a pretty cool find. This is a Thunderbird's jet. If you're not familiar, they're kind of the stunt deal from the Air Force, obviously. Pretty cool. All right, this is the outside. This is where the big display area is. There's a couple of hangars. We're not going to do everything today. We'll try to give you a good taste of everything here. It's a little windy, so I'm using the drift so that you can hear me. And right in front of us, we got a Navy Blue Angels plane. Pretty cool. Yeah, so they got some military vehicles here. Lots of World War II and Korean War, Vietnam War era stuff. I guess they've separated them out to the planes where they're in the same era, I guess. So this is the Bombardment group hangar, and this is a B-17G, big World War II plane. You've even got a machine gun turret, dismounted, obviously. And apparently you can get right up in there. Let's see what we can do here. There's a forward gunner's position. And above me, and you can't really see it, is the cockpit. Here's the bomb bay doors. They got some, I'm assuming, dummy bombs up there. Here's the rear machine gun turret. I believe this was probably one of the deadliest jobs in, at least in the air in World War II. Can you imagine sitting in that little ball, having people shoot at you? Because you're the first target. And that's where you sat, inside there. You had to be a little guy. This is cool, you can see it from above. Looks even more impressive inside than it does outside. Yeah, I can't, I mean, you just can't even count the planes that are out here. It's just, I'm sure there's a count somewhere. But I could spend 2 days here for sure. Here's a Harrier Jump Jet. It's capable of taking off vertically. And I think this is a British plane, but the Marines use these. Close ground support, that kind of thing. Pretty cool. One thing, if you got kids, I mean, you can get right up close to these planes. It's really a neat thing, and I can't tell you how many kids I've heard in there just thrilled out of their minds. You could tell by the way they were screaming. I'm pretty stoked myself. Well, we got 3 presidential planes over here. One looks like it was a probably State Department plane, and then you got a couple over here that look like they may have been an Air Force One. This was Air Force One for President Kennedy and President Johnson. And I'm not sure if it was this one or not. I know they have a few different planes, but if you look at the historic pictures, I think Johnson took his may have taken his oath on this one. There's a picture of him in Air Force One taking his oath of office with Jacqueline Kennedy. Here's another one, obviously much newer. I'll get up closer and find out whose it was. Another Air Force One. This was Freedom One, May 31st, 1959. Doesn't say what service it had or whose it might have been. Pretty cool. I'm coming out to the back part of the lot here. Supposedly they have 80 acres. I'm going to take a look at some of the big boys. There's a big NASA plane. I'm assuming that must have, that whole front comes off and hinges out of the way. Looks like a big stinking whale. And some type of experimental aircraft went in there. This is my kind of aircraft. Everybody else has got 1, 2, maybe 4 engines. This guy's got 6. This plane is just absolutely massive. Oh. B3G. I was thinking it was a B-52, but it's a B3G. Big freaking aircraft. I like this is the high and mighty one. Looks like I'm not sure what the they got a score sheet on the side. This is a B-52. So big Vietnam era plane, late 50s, Cold War. Outfitted to carry everything from conventional bombs to nuclear warheads. Well, for all you UK guys, they don't discriminate here. Got a little Royal Air Force action for you. I'm thinking this is World War II vintage. This thing would have to be pretty fast. It's got counter-rotating props on it. So this would have been Korean War, Cold War. It's a radar plane. I'm thinking this one that's in front of me is a B-29. Nope, wrong again. It's a KB-50J. So 47 to 68. Pretty cool. For some reason, there's so many planes here, and it's like all these little roads around. It's almost like driving through a tract housing development kind of thing. It just keeps going and going. I'm going to try to make it over to the World War II Pacific and European theater hangars, see what's in there. So one of the reasons why they can preserve these planes out here outside so well, so these Davis Monthan, they have this plane graveyard that they store planes there for decades, and can use them for parts, they can sell them, whatever. But the desert's like a big silicone pack. If you've ever bought something like binoculars or cameras, they come with those little packets. Well, we live in a big silicone packet. Silica, I guess is what they are. Well, here's a 1950s vintage C-130A. Big old transport. C-141B Starlifter, another transport plane, pretty cool. One of the commercial planes that they have out here. It's a TWA, obviously, kind of shaped like a dolphin. It's pretty neat. Star of Switzerland. Four engines and 3-section tail. Again, it's really neat how you can just wander right underneath these things. Lockheed Constellation Airliner, 40s. So this is the Pacific Theater hangar, and obviously represents World War II in Pacific Theater. China, Burma, India, Japan, Aleutian Islands, Philippines. Lots of activity. There's my favorite plane. Corsair. Pappy Bollington. Black Sheep. I just had to walk down the side here. I just love how the upswept wings, the thing just looks fast. Single cockpit. The wings are hinged and fold up for carrier service. Right about, let's let's see, right about there, they're hinged. And carrier service, close ground support. Well, this is not a Corsair, but this is how the wings fold up. I think the Corsairs, their wings kind of folded up in the upward direction, a little bit more upswept. So this is the World War II European theater side. Everything in Germany, Poland, France, England. You've got a biplane German plane from World War I. Well, that was the Pima Air and Space Museum, Tucson, Arizona. Appreciate you watching. Please like, subscribe, share. Adios.